The topic of discussion in this video is about making one very simple mindset shift, which will almost instantly improve your performance in trading, and it will make it easier for you to manage your emotions while trading. So let's jump straight into it. The first thing I want to make clear is that almost all underperformance in trading is money related. So the majority of mistakes a trader makes is due to money-based decision making. So the root cause of your problems in trading, of any problems that a trader may be facing, the majority of these problems can be rooted to focusing on money, making money-based decisions. So a trader will close a trade early because they're thinking about the money. A trader will hesitate to take a position because they're thinking about the money. A trader will chase the market because they're thinking about the money. So you can see here from those points that I've just highlighted, you can begin to understand that the majority, if not all, problems and underperformance in trading is based on money-based decision making. So a trader that is focusing on the money will constantly be in a state of underperformance. So once you can truly understand and internalize that most errors in your trading is due to focusing on the money, this is where you can begin to make the correction and improve your performance in the markets by shifting your mindset away from money-based decision making, which I'm going to be talking more about now. In order to make this mindset shift, a trader must replace the old thinking with a new and more positive way of thinking, okay, which is process-based decision making. Now, this doesn't just happen overnight, okay? If a trader desires to shift their mindset from being money focused to process focused, they must repeatedly remind themselves of this new way of thinking. So we're working with exposure here, we're repetition, constantly reminding yourself of this new way that you need to be thinking while trading. A trader must become aware of when they're thinking about the money and consciously put in the effort to make the mindset shift. So as I've just said there, it doesn't just happen overnight. You have got to put in the work and you've got to make a conscious effort, okay, to make this mindset shift from money-based decision making to process-based decision making. It requires mental work. A simple way for a trader to develop self-awareness, okay, which is going to help with making this mindset shift, is to journal any triggers during the trading day that cause them to shift from being process focused to money focused. So reflect on your own trading. Maybe at the end of each trading day, you can journal and write down and identify any triggers during the trading day that caused you to shift your focus, what caused you to shift your mindset from thinking about your process, the strategy that you've got laid out, to then thinking about the money. Okay, what triggers you to make that shift, okay? And what you'll find is that over time and constant repetition, okay, the trader yourself will begin to ingrain this new way of thinking. So you identify the triggers that are causing you to have that mindset shift from process focused to money focused. So identify those triggers and then constantly remind yourself day in and day out, putting in the mental reps and reminding yourself of how you need to be thinking. So constantly shifting your mindset from thinking about the money to thinking about the process and just solely focusing on making good decisions in your trading. So constant repetition, okay, it requires mental work, but the more you do it, eventually you will solidify this way of thinking. So in order to make it easier for yourself to make this mindset shift from money-based decision making to process-based thinking, it will help you to set aside 5 to 10 minutes before every trading session to mentally rehearse your process and remind yourself of this new way of thinking that you'd like to adopt. So don't just jump into the trading session expecting to perform well. Okay, so think about athletes. High-performing athletes do not just get straight into the arena and start performing at the highest level. They are at first warming up their body. They're physically warming up their body. So one, they can avoid injuries, and two, so they can perform at their best and they're ready. You as a trader operating in the markets, trading is a performance sport. That's how I like to look at it. You need to do the same. However, it's mental warming up. Okay, you need to, as I've said here, take 5 to 10 minutes to mentally rehearse and remind yourself of your process and to make that shift, consciously putting that effort to make the shift and telling yourself, okay, I need to be process focused, repetitions, mentally warming up and going through and rehearsing your process. So the key is to repeatedly remind yourself that you want to be focusing solely on the process. Okay, we're working with repetition here. Over time, it's going to become solidified and ingrained into your way of thinking, but you have to put in those mental reps and constantly making that shift. So you need to be self-aware. You want to be aware of your thoughts, okay, as I've just said there, and then focus them towards process-based thinking, okay? I can't stress enough how important it is to set aside time each day, okay, to actively shifting your thoughts to process-based decision making. It's the very act of that repetition, okay, as I've mentioned, that will solidify this new constructive mindset, okay? So you're constantly reminding yourself of how you need to be thinking, rehearsing your process for 5 to 10 minutes before your trading session and drawing all that energy away from thinking about the money and actively putting in that conscious effort to remind yourself of the process and knowing and thinking about making good decisions while you are trading. So to conclude all that I've just spoken about, when a trader begins to let go of the energy attached to money-based thinking, to being process focused, this is then when they will begin to perform at their best. Okay, the decisions they make will begin to be aligned with the very actions that will lead them to performance and results that they desire from trading. So constantly reminding yourself of your process, mentally warming up before the trading day, putting in that mental effort to have and create that mindset shift, drawing all the energy away from thinking about the money and making money-based decisions and drawing it and putting it all into process-based decision making. When you do that, it will then become habitual. Through repetition, it will become second nature, but you have to put in the reps, as I've said. It's the repetition here that is going to help you to ingrain this new mindset shift, which is going to increase your performance and make it easier for you to manage your emotions while you're trading. So that's all for this video. I hope I've helped you in any way. If you do want to get in touch with me, you want to connect with me, then you can check out the link in the description.